Hey, folks. Over the past few months, I've been helping my friend Fred Armisen develop an evening of comedy known as For Drummers Only. The show is going to be filmed as Fred's Netflix special this Thursday, October 19th, at the Great American Music Hall in San Francisco. There's a link to tickets on our website, thetrapset.net, and here to tell you more about the show is Fred.
The audience is made up 100% of drummers. Good drummers, bad drummers, I would say even wannabe drummers, struggling drummers, professional drummers. And the idea is that the jokes, the impressions, the specificity about humor of drum hardware, drum equipment, drum stereotypes, drummer styles, that's what the comedy is going to be about.
What gave you the idea to do a comedy show only for drummers?
I feel like as a drummer, and whenever I've sort of made jokes about, just from drummer to drummer, or if I'm talking to musicians, about being a drummer, the laughs that happen are very sort of, it's almost like an inside joke, an ultimate inside joke. You could talk to a drummer from another country, from another state, and if you talk to them about, or if I talk to them about, have you ever noticed that sound guys do this whenever you're doing your sound check? I feel like it's a real bonding experience. So I thought, well, if there's a whole audience of those people, that might be a fun night.
Yeah, and we've already tried this here in LA, and we've tried it in Portland and New York, and it has been really fun. And one of the things that really surprised me is, even though the humor is incredibly specific, for some reason it translates over to the non-drummers that happen to show up, the ones that sneak into the crowd. All come up to me and say, I'm not a drummer, but that was really great.
Oh, that's nice.
So it must be that you're just so passionate that it translates.
That's my hope. In the same way, if this is a guess, if I went to a stand-up show that was people who do one specific thing, it was about car mechanics, and they did all car mechanic humor, I feel like I would get something out of it. If it was from car mechanics and, from a car mechanic comedian to the whole audience filled with them, I feel like, hey, I'd like to see what it is that they, how they view the world, or the things they're frustrated by. So, because the show isn't that long, it's only an evening of entertainment. So, I'm just guessing that that's because it's focused and there's passion in it. Maybe it's pretty good.
It's just so crazy it works.
Yeah, and also I'm biased because I happen to think drums are great. They look great on stage. Drummers are they're a type of person. So the people in the audience or the people watching, it's a very specific type. We keep saying the word specific. I apologize, but that is what it feels like. But it's a type of person. It's almost like the way that there are horror movie nerds or comic book nerds. There's something about it that I really like.
But there's nothing nerdy about drumming, right?
Oh, no way, right? It's amazing. Watching drummers talk to each other, as soon as they get serious real fast about equipment. It's pretty funny just watching. If you go to a drum store, how do they just get into it? The theme seems to be old drums. I found something from 1935. Can you believe it? Listen to how this sounds. The tone, and the warm tones.
Yeah, no one ever talks about a cold tone.
No, or a brand new. No matter how hard new companies try, it's just rare to hear like the new, whatever name brand it is. That's the way to go.
Well, just for the folks that don't know, your foundation is as a drummer. That's kind of how you identify.
Yeah, that was all my heroes. I always wanted to just be a drummer. That was like my goal. Although I always liked the mix of comedy. Like I feel like Keith Moon had an element of that. So I somehow wanted to gravitate towards it.
So I think I should strike the first thing that I said about the show being next Wednesday and Thursday, because Wednesday's already sold out, right? I believe it is.
I didn't know that.
I just remembered that. So
I say mention it because that's a nice
Okay.
thing. It's good for my ego to hear that. Hey, there's a show that sold out. So.
okay. So the shows are at the Great American Music Hall in San Francisco. That's next Wednesday and Thursday, the 18th and 19th,
19th there are 2 shows, and then we're taping the shows on the 19th.
for your Netflix special.
Yeah.
And we have some special guests. Should we
we'll
tell
have
them who the special guests are?
I say we should, right?
Okay. We've got Trey Cool from a little Bay Area band known as Green Day. Mm-hmm. We've got Stella Mozgava from one of the greatest bands right now, Warpaint. And then we've got Swiss drum technician. This guy is like a surgeon on the drums, Thomas Lang. We also have singer-songwriter Tao Nguyen. And we might have another couple secret guests, too. Who knows?
Joe, I got to say, you memorized that really well. Not just because that's a lot of information. I just want everyone out there to know that he's not reading off a piece of paper.
All right, hope to see you there, folks.
I hope to see you there, too.